Hey, it's Mike from The Mike Wagner Show. Thanks for tuning in to The Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM. If you're interested in sponsoring my show, you can send me an email to themikewagnershow@gmail.com, or you could also donate to the podcast. Just go to the Donate Listen site, and you can also donate whatever you like. Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast. For those who are interested, Anchor can give you everything you need in one place for free, which you can use right from your phone or computer. We got creation tools, allows you to record and edit podcasts so it sounds great, and they'll distribute the podcast for you so it can be heard everywhere. Spotify, Apple, Google, many more. And you can make money from the podcast with no minimum listenership. So download the Anchor app for free or go to Anchor FM to get started.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, iTunes, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Mike brings you great guests and interesting people from all across the globe. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another great episode of the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from The Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention The Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on themikewagnershow.com. You can check our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, Apple, Deezer, Stitcher, and more. Take The Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to The Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also follow The Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. She is back by popular demand. We are here with a wonderful spiritual healer from Chicago, and she's back to talk about the 10 tips of keeping spirits high during a crisis, which can be the corona, it can be war, it can be another pandemic, it can be just about anything. She was the author of My Freaking Long Journey to Loving Myself, also the host of the podcast Guided Spirit Conversations, and she's also been trained in 14 different healing techniques, gives account of her transformational journey. And for those who missed that interview, you can go to Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, go to The Mike Wagner Show, and click under Marla Goldberg. But she's back to talk about the 10 tips to keeping spirits high, and we're looking forward to what she has for us. Live, ladies and gentlemen, from the beautiful Windy City, she returns by popular demand, Marla Goldberg. Marla, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us once again.
Hello, Mike. How are you? Thank you for having me back. I'm so excited.
Oh, well, excited as well, too. And we're going to talk about the 10 tips of keeping spirits high during the crisis, which is the corona. And also, it's not just the corona, but anything as well, too, like a pandemic, like the flu, or a natural disaster, catastrophe, or anything that's going on in America and the world. And before we get into the tell tips, just tell us once again quickly how you got started being a healer, and also your book very quickly, My Freaking Long Journey to Loving Myself.
So how I got into becoming an energy healer and an intuitive was through a situation that had me down on my knees. I was lost, and I didn't know how I was going to get out of my situation. I was in a horrific marriage, but this was only just one little piece of, things that brought up to my bad decision of marrying this individual. And I knew him when I was 18, and when I married him was much later, and he'd already been married, and his wife had passed away. But what I didn't realize, I didn't know a lot about alcoholism and, his guilt, his shame, and the stuff that he was dealing with. And after a period of years being married, I just couldn't do it anymore. The abuse was so much, the verbal abuse, the emotional abuse, that I just said, I give up. I can't do this. But before I did that, I was in a really dark space, and I was depressed, and I was a deer in headlights, and I didn't know where I was, what to do about my situation. And I went to a women's conference, and at the women's conference, someone was talking about how to heal yourself. And out of all the lectures that were going on, that was the only one I wanted to hear, because everything I was doing wasn't working. And I was going to therapy, I was doing this, I was doing that, and nothing was changing. And so I went to this woman's talk or lecture, and everything she said, my hand was raising. They start with the questions. Has anybody here? Would you like to? And my hand just could have stayed up through the whole thing. And by the time we were done with her 40-minute talk, I had signed up for her class. And it ended up being a 3-year mystery school. And at the mystery school, I learned 14 different healing modalities. And it's so funny because when I left school, I never thought I'd be an energy healer. I just was going to use this for myself and my friends, just as a little tool. But I kept going to more and more classes. And actually, Mike, I'm now trained in 24 different healing techniques.
24? Well, amazing. I mean, you talk about some of the 14, and maybe you can talk about, some of the 24. You don't have to give away all 24 or an additional 10. Maybe just a few more. I'm actually about to learn something from you.
Well, some of the modalities I learned at class, one of them was called ART, Awareness Response Technique. And I remember this one was really a tough one for me, but then I finally got it. And what's very cool about it is one goes into a state and they scan themselves. And what you'll find is that while scanning yourself, you'll find where your block is or blocks. But the one that's really prevalent, that's the one that's going to stand out. And we would take the patient or the client into because I'm not a doctor, but into, this block. And we would find out, does it have a shape? Does it have a texture? How big? How small? Does it have a color to it? Can you smell it? Can you taste it? Mm-hmm. And then you could, you take the client and you start saying, is it talking to you? Can you hear anything? And in this tranced state, they would be able to, the blockage, whatever the area that was we're dealing with, they would get a message about it, and most times we would be able to release it and let it go. And when they came out of it, when we brought them back, and this isn't hypnotism, it's just when you're, but it feels like a hypnotic state in a way, you would find that the issue was gone, and they were feeling so much better. So that was one that I really liked to use back then, because you could sort of pull that out anywhere. There was one called Conference Table, where you brought, you got to pick guides or ancestors, living or dead, to your conference table, and there would be a process of getting information from them. We did a Reiki-esque type healing, which is hands-on, which feels really good. So that's 3 of the 14, and then since then I've been trained in theta healing, spiritual response therapy, Chinese face reading, space clearing, like 3 other varieties. When healers make up their own modality of their kind of energy clearing. What else? And in the process, found out I was actually an intuitive.
Really? That's amazing. and what is Chinese face reading? That sounds interesting.
So Chinese face reading was derived from Chinese medicine. So it's like 3,000 years old. And what it was, the Chinese doctors couldn't touch the women. And what they were able to do is through facial features, they were able to discern personality characteristics and traits. And so it's your features, how large, how small, where they're placed, markings on your face. And it just tells you about yourself, where you might be blocked, where you might have health issues. And so in the teacher I went to, not only did she teach Chinese face reading, but she taught, it's called 9-star key. It's a form of Chinese astrology? Chinese astrology. And so I like to say the facial features, how large, how small, are one big piece of the pie, and then your birth date patterns are the other piece, and together they give you the big picture.
Wow, that is something. Now, due to the coronavirus, can they still do like the Chinese face reading or any of these, like by virtual, say online or video conference, or say by Skype, or does it have to be in person?
No, I do everything remotely.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right.
So,
And can you also do like, spiritual healings, readings, and techniques like, say, over the phone?
yes, I can do it through phone, Skype, Zoom. And that's what I do. I don't do any in-person sessions.
Mm-hmm.
It's all over the line. And this way, what's great is that I have a bigger reach. My reach is global.
Wow.
So,
That
yeah,
that is something. Maybe you can subtly try one of these on me as well too, and we'll talk about your one of your books as well too, being a podcast and also getting through a coronavirus. But first, listen to the Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs at below the competition way. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, Apple, and more. And take the Mike Wagner Show on any mobile device. You can also check out the Mike Wagner Show on over 35 podcast platforms and follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today, and subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. We're here with spiritual healer Marla Goldberg on the Mike Wagner Show. She returned to talk about the 10 tips of keeping spirits high during a crisis, which is the Corona season. And we also got an update. She's was at 14 and now she's at 24 and covered a few more and looking to add to a bigger and better total. And you also had a book called My Freaking Long Journey to Loving Myself, which after you went to a conference, you basically did a little bit of work and you decided to write a book about it. And quickly tell us more about that.
so my book, you call freaking, I say effing, Long Journey to Loving Myself, A Guide to a Shorter Path, is a partial memoir and it's a partial self-help book. So my story, what I went through, the dysfunctional family I grew up in, not being prepared for life, not given the tools to be able to handle things. It's the story's in there, in the front of the book, and then in the back I show 14. There are 14 techniques that I used, and I still use to release stress, forgiveness techniques, techniques on self-acceptance, and also self-love.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it basically, I wrote it with the hope that I would help somebody to make their journey shorter to finding self-acceptance and self-love.
Mm-hmm. And of course, too, you had added on 24 as well, too. Will there be another book coming up as well, too, like a follow-up to My Freaking Long Journey?
I haven't decided to write one of those yet. I have been being nudged to write something about the coronavirus and staying positive for it, but not a sequel to this one.
Oh yeah, you know what? That reminds me. We're here going to discuss about the 10 tips of keeping spirits high during a crisis, which is the corona. And what are the 10 tips to keeping this up, especially those listening right now?
So, the way I look at it, this is a perfect time to reboot, recalibrate. The Earth is having a chance to recalibrate, and so are we. And just to take a side note, I don't know if anybody's heard the news about how pollution is clearing up. The waterways are clearing up in Venice. Dolphins are swimming in the waterways.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. And are you allowed to do any street walking in Venice still?
No.
I'm kidding.
Well, I don't know if street walking is legal to begin with.
well, of course, there's no streets in Venice. They say, yeah, I'm a street walker in Venice.
Oh, hello, I'm so slow.
Don't worry,
I get it now.
Here, you can have a little bit of memory from me here, so you can have it right now. So
That's so funny. So some of these tips, so I was starting to say, it's a great time to recalibrate. So there are many people who are out of work, right? And they're worrying and they're stressed. Well, this doesn't help you physically. It's not going to help your immune system. It doesn't help health. And it doesn't help the way you are able to coexist if you are living with other people, hence a family. So what do I suggest? I suggest this is a great time to take classes. You can go on YouTube and have a class for anything for free. You can learn to paint. You can learn to sing. You can learn to do ballroom dancing, yoga. I mean, there's everything on there. So this is a great time to make it, to take a moment and explore something new. Also, you may not be particularly happy with your occupation or what you do to make a living. This is a great time to start looking into maybe making a lucrative hobby. So it's not a very expensive, it's not very expensive to make body butters or salt or sugar scrubs, things like that at home. Some people are handy. They might want to make jewelry holders, whatever it might be. It's something that you can make. And though you can't really, I don't know how online sales are going now during this pandemic, but how great to build a stockpile of something. And then when this is done, you have the ability to sell it and make more money, make additional money. You could go to like if you're doing body butters or whatever, you can go to a farmer's market, and because they're going to start opening. I know where I am right now, they would have it if they were allowed to. But you're able to then sell it and make some really nice money that would offset the bills that you're gaining from not working now.
And what else can you do at home during this time, especially during the crisis? This
is a great time. Pick up a book. Read something. That's really important. Exercise. You can take out your Jane Fonda or your Richard Simmons. I joke, but that's how old I am. But seriously, you can go on YouTube and you could take yoga classes. You can go on Flipboard and you can see people who have posted floor exercises that you can do that are, that people forget, that you could do on your own without having to go to a gym. You're just using your own body weight. That is really important. Start cooking or baking. I mean, this is a great time for you to start exploring. Do I like to cook? If I'm a cook, let's practice baking. Let's see if we can get into doing something different. It's great for the brain. It's great to keep your mind sharp. And who knows where it'll take you? You might find a new talent or ability or a new passion that who knows where it'll take you. I know a gal who was working for a municipality, and on the side she started making those three-dimensional cakes.
Wow.
With fondant and all, and now it's turned into a huge business for her. And it just started as something she started playing with and then enjoyed and then started getting better at because she was doing it more and more. I mean, this is truly an opportune time to move forward in your life, to start making a plan to move forward in your life. Obviously, you can't physically move forward, but it's a great time to make a plan for it and start implementing the plan. It's like when people do a marketing plan or a business plan. Okay, you have to take the time to pull back and focus on what you want. And then, when the time is opportune, that's when you pull the plug and you follow through on it.
That is amazing. I'm getting a lot of great ideas from you, and I can feel the spirits moving. As soon as you're done, get that VCR and pull out those Jane Fonda and Richard Simmons tapes and plug it up. I have to pull out my TV VCR thing, too. And you also mentioned cooking as well, too. A great time to cook. A lot of us in our family love to cook. And what are some of your favorite dishes that you like to cook for your family?
Oh, well, I'm a baker.
Baker,
so
okay.
I love to bake. I'm not a decorator, but I'm a baker. So I love baking. And now I've gone sugar-free and gluten-free. So now is the time for me to start exploring how to make something that's yummy, that fits into that criteria. My husband laughs because he goes, I'm not eating cardboard. He goes, that's what he thinks it tastes like.
Cardboard? Oh, my goodness. I just added salt and pepper on mine. It seems to taste better with cardboard.
Oh, that's a little buttercream, but he laughs at
better.
it because he's we're like Jack Sprat and his wife. Jack Sprat could eat no fat, his wife could eat no lean, but it's sort of reversed.
Oh, my goodness.
So we laugh about I eat very clean, he doesn't, and there we go.
Jack Spratt, we're going to have to remember that. And you also are a host of a podcast as well, too. We'll talk more about that, along with April being Stress Awareness Month, what to do, and also to, what's coming up as well, too. But first, listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on themikewagnershow.com. You can check our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, Apple, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also, catch the Mike Wagner Show on over 35 podcasts. Just Google the Mike Wagner Show and follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with spiritual healer Marla Goldberg. She's also an author of My Freaking Long Journey to Loving Myself, and she also gave us some of the tips to keeping spirits high during a crisis, especially during the Corona season. And also, you're a host of a podcast called Guide Spirit Conversation. So just tell us more about that and what got you inspired to do a podcast.
I was guided to do a podcast. It's not something I ever thought I'd do. I'm a behind-the-scenes kind of gal, and so the thought of being out in front was really like, again, the deer in headlights just sit. I got frozen. But I went through what I call my veil of fear and started this podcast, and I'm having the best time doing it. And we record live on either YouTube or Facebook so that we could have live watchers as well as the people on the phone, so people can call in and ask the guests questions. And my guests are metaphysicians, healers, thought leaders from across the globe.
Wow. Okay. And then tell us about some of the episodes coming up and what's been new lately, who you've had on, and where can we find your podcast?
So my podcast, I'm going to go in backward order. It could be found at voiceamerica.com. And I have a YouTube channel called Guided Spirit Conversations where you can see the behind the scenes of the podcast. So when we go on break, you can hear the conversation that we continue to have off air. Mm-hmm. So it's really great to do. And so some of my, like Thursday's podcast is Jean Rockefeller. And Jean Rockefeller is just an amazing, she's an animal communicator and a psychic. And I've had her on before, and she's just lovely. She's got a great energy, and she's so much fun, and her story's amazing. I'm having psychic medium Paul Saligon. I've had James Demos. I've had Missy Hart, who is a local Illinois gal, who is amazing. It sounds like all I have are psychic mediums, but it isn't. Tanya Gabrielle, who is an astrologer / numerologist. She mixes the two sciences together for absolutely amazingly powerful results. I have had shamans and of course I'm going blank because I'm on the spot with mentioning my guests, but go on my voiceamerica.com. It's also on iTunes, iHeart, on the usual suspects, and you will be able to find me, or Guided Spirit Conversations on YouTube, and you can see the guests as we speak.
We will do so as well, too, and of course, a lot of things have been stressful, some of the things have been stressful, and some of the things you've been doing haven't been so stressful, and of course, April is Stress Awareness Month, and what are some of the few tips on how to stay healthy and naturally release the stress, especially at home? It's like, how do you handle stress during this time, especially during the pandemic?
So one of the things that I love to do, and my husband and I do, we go on our back deck and we put on music. And sometimes we dance, sometimes we don't, but we sing. Not well, but we sing.
or just in karaoke where the neighbors can hear you.
Well, it's so funny because we left our karaoke microphone somewhere else. So we do have a karaoke machine, which is just not usable right now. But we just go and we sing with the music. And you can't feel bad if you're singing. I've never known anybody who is singing and feeling bad unless, I will say, they might be singing some of those, you done me wrong songs. Like someone's hurt and then they're singing along with some song that's sad. But if you put on a really great song, ABBA, for example, you can't be sad to ABBA. Queen, you can't be sad to Queen music. I mean, the vibration is so high that you can't do it. If you move your body, you can't feel bad. I don't know anybody who feels bad while they're working out, while they're dancing. Now, they might feel bad before they start the activity or after, but they don't feel bad during it. And usually if you don't feel bad during it, you feel much better afterwards.
Isn't that something? I think you gave me some ideas right now on come up with a playlist and doing this during this time as well too. ABBA, Queen, and what else? You know what? I was thinking of Journey. Everybody likes to sing "Don't Stop Believing." Toto singing "Africa" has been the big number one as well too. I miss the rains, and sometimes I wish I was there, but then in a way with the pandemic, I wish we don't. But yeah, Toto, you're not in Kansas anymore, Dorothy. Sorry.
There's Heart. I love Heart. I like going back to the old days. I have to say, because it's just easier for me to sing those songs.
Well, I can imagine you singing those as well too, maybe in the podcast as well too. And also, despite the Corona situation, what do you have coming up for 2020 later on?
Oh, well, let's see. Right now I'm working on a virtual summit. So it's called the Global Consciousness Summit, and the summit is about raising awareness for the planet and raising awareness for individuals. So we're interviewing, again, experts in their field, and it's hitting everything from like clean waterways, Freakinism, which is something I'm learning about. And have you heard about Freakin?
I have heard somewhat of it, but now you mention it, I'll take a look more at it when we get off here.
So the Freakin movement is about, and I don't know how this works now that everything, so many places are closed down, but supermarkets and restaurants throw out perfectly good food. It just might be a little bruised or damaged, and these people go into they dumpster dive to get the food that are thrown out, because it's a waste. So that it's almost like recycling food in a way.
Oh, okay. Now I get it, because I think they call it something else up where I'm at. And when I hear about this, where restaurants throw out the perfectly good food, and I thought to myself, it's like, you're right. Why would they do something like that? It's like, why not just give it away and save face, or just say, hey, if you give this and mention your name, they'll probably give maybe better exposure, better marketing, or just encourage people to say, come to restaurants. It's like you treat our food very well.
Well, I had a bakery back in the day, and what I would do with with my baked goods that were not, I didn't feel that they were great to sell, but they were still good. Mm-hmm. They might be 2 days old. So I would donate them to hospitals, to the iPads, which was for homeless people. Mm-hmm. And for abused people. I would donate it to the fire departments. I would go to all the various fire departments in my area and drop off cupcakes or other baked goods that we had that we couldn't sell anymore, because I was a freak for making sure things were fresh. But I didn't want to throw it in the garbage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, but those are things that people could do, and now I hear that some of these restaurants, because they don't want the people going through the dumpsters, or these supermarkets have put locks on their on their garbage, and it's sort of like, why would you? It doesn't make sense to me. But that's a whole other topic. But that's something a little bit about freakinism.
Mm-hmm. And of course, we can talk more about that too when you give us more an update. We'd love to have you back on. This kind of reminds me of a story too about Little Caesars, where this one store saw some homeless people going through their dumpster looking for pizza, and the manager came and goes, Why are you going through the garbage looking for pizza? Come on in. We'll give you a slice. We'll give you a cup of water and just be on your way. And that's actually started a big chain, pretty much nationwide, chain reactions. It's like, why try to get pizza going through a dumpster? We can just come on in and say they'll give you a slice of pizza and just give you some water.
Well, and let's think about it. People who are homeless are not necessarily the cleanliest, and people have stigmas to them. And there are a lot of people that don't want them in the establishment because it's offensive to anybody else who might be in there. So instead of treating them as people down on their luck, they treat them as rubbish, as they treat their rubbish. And, it's heartbreaking. And so that's why they go through the dumpsters. Mm-hmm. But I love the fact that this manager had the heart and the soul to be compassionate and empathize with the plight of the individual who is going through the dumpster.
Mm-hmm. And of course, and then one more tip as well, too, before we wrap up here, what's like the most important tip you could give to anybody to keep in mind, during a crisis, especially with the corona? What's the most important?
Really, the most important is keeping your spirits up, keeping your vibe up, keeping your energy up. And listen, watch a comedy. If you find something that makes you laugh. Laughter. It helps keep the immune system strong. It feels good. Again, it goes back to my saying, I don't know anybody who's watching a comedy and laughing that feels bad.
Mm-hmm. Right. And of course, that's very important as well, too. There's a lot available. You got Netflix, you got Hulu, you got Tubi TV and YouTube and everything else. And of course, just a couple of things here. We'd love to have it back on again. Marla, you've been fantastic. Marla Goldberg, the author of My Freaking Long Journey Living Myself. She gave us some of the 10 tips of keeping spirits high during a crisis, including the corona. Also host of a podcast called Guide Spirits Conversation. And what's the best advice to give to anybody at this point?
Oh, just know that this is temporary. This too shall pass, and just to do your best to keep your spirits up. Keep yourself busy. What is it? Idle hands are the devil's playground. So do the opposite. Keep yourself busy. However it is you can do it. Whatever works. Find a project in your house. Again, read a book. Find a subject that you were interested in but never followed through on. There's so much available to you, and you don't have to leave your house.
Mm-hmm. And those are very good points. Marla, once again, a big thank you for your time. You've been fantastic. Love you have back on again, and looking forward to what you really got, especially with the new Freakin movement coming up, and also an update to your latest ventures. And once again, tell us about your upcoming projects, your website, how do people contact you, and where can people purchase your books and listen to your podcast?
So you find me at marlagoldberg.com, and the Berg is with 2 R's, so it's GOLDBERRG.com. And you can find my book at Amazon or on my website. You can find my screen pillow on my website. That's something wonderful to use if you're frustrated.
Oh, yes, my favorite, the screen pillow.
But my books are on Amazon or through myself. My summit, if you're interested, sign up on my newsletter, subscribe to me, and on my website, and you'll be able to have a pre-knowing of when this is going to be launched. And you're not going to want to miss it because there's some amazing, every one of them is amazing with some powerful information. One talks about the power of prayer, the resonance of music, and how it's healing. We just cover the whole gamut.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing, too. And once again, Marla, big thank you for your time. You've been fantastic.
Thank you, Mike.
Looking forward to having you on soon. And keep us up to date, please. And I'd like to talk more about this, the Freakin movement, and also, updates and everything else. I mean, you've been fantastic. Definitely have you back on again sometime in 2020. Keep us up to date.
Perfect, Mike. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, YouTube, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Please support our program with your donations at themikewagnershow.com. Join us again next time for another great episode of The Mike Wagner Show.